Okay, it was a busy day. Friday, April 29th. It's currently a little before 7 p.m. and I just finished dinner and I'm doing my recap. This is a screen I never show. This is the one that's over to my left. And it gives my individual buys, the pricing, etc. Well, what we're looking at here is my activity in TQQQ today. You can see it was a busy day, and I'm not going to go through every single one of these. I will say, however, that these here, all of these in red, were my final exit after hours, actually. You can see here, almost 13 minutes past 4 p.m., the close, to get out with a profit on that particular trade. It was a wild day. Right now, QQQs are down 4.5%, which leaves TQs down over 13%. So it was it was a good day to be trading. Let's just say that. In any event, I just wanted to show this screen here, and I'll go through quickly the individual trades. You can see TQs here, highlighted in blue, and my profit today, $1,209, 1208.66. And I had a trade, my first trade of the day early, which was a scalp, and I mentioned this in my earlier post before lunch. I also had that trade in SQs, which was $61.35. So you add the two together, and you get $1,270 profit for the day. So moving over here to the primary chart, I'll move so I'll stand up so you don't get the glare from the window behind me. This here is TQs, and this is the entire day plus a few minutes in the after hours session where I did exit. So I'll move the cursor over, see if we can zoom in a little bit. So early on, give me just a second and I'll take care of this. See if we can get this going. A lot of lines, a lot of stuff going on here. It is technical analysis and momentum trading, which leaves a kind of a mess on the screen. So early on, I had this trade, and I covered this particular trade here before lunch, and it's in a separate video. So follow the purple line down, and you'll see it's about 10:45, and I exited just before 11 o'clock on that particular trade. Now, as I also mentioned in that earlier video, I stepped away, had lunch with a friend, came back to the computer, and moving my cursor over here. So we've got our purple line. Looks like this was about 2 o'clock, 2:15 or so. And I went, I'll grab the other pen, might be easier to see. Nothing's really easy to see on a black background, but it's great for my eyes. I cannot look at a white screen, white charts. It gives me such eye fatigue, it's unbearable. So I watch everything on black charts. I don't know if others do the same, but I really do need them. They work best for me. All right, let's spread this out so I can explain it a little better. Okay. So, went long here with small shares. Added to the, and held on and got out here. This was a quick one. Trying to recall how many shares it was. I'm looking off to my left, and there's so much activity that it's hard for me to decipher. Let me see here. Not even sure it's important at this point. In any event, I got long here, held, and exited up here for a gain. Then, real quickly, I got long here in the same candle at 250 shares, thinking that it would go up. It did not. And price dropped. Actually, it would have been nice to be short here on SQs, but that's a different story for a different day. So I had 250 shares here. And I saw an opportunity, went long here. And this was approximately 2:45 p.m., I guess. Went long here. Went through this little slight down stage here and exited right here at the top of this pullback candle. Also a decent gain, and that was fine. Held on here. Came down here. Price dropped to this level. Looks like it was about 3:20 or so, 3:20 p.m. Went long here right at the bottom. And great trade. Exited part of the position here. Exited the remaining part at the top. Price dithered a little bit and then dropped. So, let's do this. And that was a nice gain. Let's zoom in here. Sorry about the camera work. I'm a little new to this, and quite frankly, it's kind of hard to look at the camera, hold it, and do the zooming and moving the cursor. So this was the end of the day. Just looking down at the bottom, you can see the time frames. For instance, right here, I think we might have just covered this one. 3:30, went long here. And I had an opportunity to scalp out of this one, and I really considered doing it. But I didn't, and I thought we might get a bounce. But on a day where the NASDAQ is down 4.5% at the close, I mean, that's an absolute shellacking. The markets got routed today, and given that, there was no bounce coming here. As long as there was activity long, there were plenty of shorts to eat up those shares and drive price down. And that's what happened. So we got here, went long, chose not to sell it, and I really was thinking, I was seriously considering selling here. Price, the bottom just fell right out of it. I got long here because I felt like I had a feeling for what historical support was, and I was wrong. I'm not right all the time. Who is? But in any event, wrote it all the way down here, knowing full well that on a day like today, we were going to get a bounce at the end. However, the market, this was 3:45 p.m. And we got over here and the market closed. Now, I know that I can get out after market. I cannot do my auto send like I typically do. I normally have this box here checked on my Thinkorswim platform, TD Ameritrade's Thinkorswim platform. And it gives me a chance to just quick in, quick out. I know in after hours or even pre-market, you can't do that. So I have to call up a full order screen. And I did that, but I've never done an after hours trade before. I knew it could be done. So I toyed with it and I couldn't get it to work. And here I am sitting on 2,500 shares. And actually I think it was 2,331 shares. I couldn't get my total fill on that particular trade. For some reason, I couldn't get my price, and I was with 2,331 shares after market on a Friday with the week facing the weekend, and I wanted to get out of this trade. I just really, truly felt that this thing was going to come back. Now, on big down days like this, after the market closes, typically we'll see that bounce, and it's kind of a relief rally. After hours, traders look to get out during regular market hours, and the big players will force price down and force people to sell at the close because most people don't want to deal with after hours trading. And what you get is all that exiting, all that activity, price is driven down, and you get a relief rally at the end of the day. And that's what happened. I knew that was going to happen. So here I am, unable to prosecute the trade. So I call Thinkorswim Technical Services and their trading desk. Got a nice person, great customer service at Thinkorswim. I'll have to tell you my nightmare story about interactive brokers during COVID at some other time, but Thinkorswim treated me great today, and their customer service is terrific. It really is. Unlike interactive brokers, which is a living nightmare. They were the worst to deal with. I will never, ever deal with them again. But that's another story for another day. In any event, I was on the phone with Thinkorswim, and the nice fellow got me out of my trade, or gave me the information, and I exited here. My price was this red line because I got in my shares here. My price was this red line. Got out here for another profit, small profit. Basically, I was just looking to get out of that trade. And I'm glad I did get out because even in after hours, price just skated along below my average price. And that goes to show you how trading works. It's all about the price where buyers and sellers meet, and where a majority of those buyers and sellers meet, you get supply and resistance lines, support and resistance lines, and price tends to go toward those like a magnet, and that's what you get. It's a market. It's the interaction of buyers and sellers at a certain price, and it's reflected in how charts move, how stocks trade. Of course it is. I mean, what else would it be, right? I know there's a lot of talk about market manipulation, and I'm one of those who believes that the market is manipulated. I'm an outsider. I don't know for sure. I genuinely think it is. But ultimately, The market is the interaction between buyers and sellers. And I've seen it for years and years. And I've even shown it in those few videos that I've posted over the past month and a half or so. What happens? Now, I was long here, a small share. I think I was 250 shares, barely anything. The bottom came out. I added here, where the red arrow is, giving me an average price of this red line. Now, it's no mistake the price went back to that area. You know, it barely got above it, allowing me to exit with a gain. And it just hugged it right there. And what you'll find, and what I'll find, is that red line there, that price level, will continue to be resistance and support into the future. And maybe a long time into the future. If market continues to sink, I think there will be a day where price will come back to this point and it will use it as resistance as it's coming up. I'm almost 100% certain of it. Truly. That's how this works. That's how trading works. And the fact that you can count on that, the fact that you can predict that, is why trading is a skill and not just pure gambling. This isn't random at all. It's not random at all. And it's also why I've discussed in the past that it's also why roughly 5 to 10% of traders make money consistently, and they make a lot of money, and the other 90% fail because they don't understand what they're doing. Anyone can learn this. I truly believe it. Anyone can learn how to do this. But it takes a lot of time and a lot of skill. And if you're doing it without any assistance, plan on taking a long time and perhaps suffering a lot of pain and losses along the way. And a great analogy is anyone, I think, can trade the market just like anyone can fly a passenger jet. The thing with a passenger jet is they don't let just anyone get in the seat and start flying one. I mean, that's insanity. But they will allow anyone with some money in their account to come in and trade the markets. And that's why so many people lose at something that can be mastered. In any event, I've continued to say in any event when I said I wouldn't do that yesterday. So to close this out, just want to leave you with that little note that this can be done and patterns are real, technical analysis is real, and momentum trading is the way you make money with technical analysis. And these patterns will repeat themselves ad infinitum, and you have to remember that markets are fractal, that you will see patterns on larger time frames and you'll see patterns on smaller time frames intraday, and they will appear to be the same. They're fractal. And if you don't know what that means, look it up. So, I was up $1,208.66 in TQs. I was up $61.35 in SQs. And that is, let me see here, $1,290. $1,290 gain today. I'll take that for a Friday.